Welcome everybody to Cup with Gut PGA Movers and Shakers, the Players Edition. A beautiful Wednesday morning here, a little windy, but other than that, it is nice. It's not below freezing. Should have some rain coming in this weekend, so be good though. Get to just watch a whole bunch of golf with the non-stop coverage. Can't wait to see the see every shot function that they're going to use this week. That'll be nice. Hopefully, I don't think it'll be up to the master standard, but looking forward to it. Should have wall-to-wall coverage. Should be a great tournament. Perfect weather. Nothing to worry about there. It really comes down to the game theory and construction, I believe. I think that's going to be the biggest part. I will spend most of my final thoughts and talking with Kenny about. I really think there are a few spots in the field this week you can certainly gain pretty good leverage. But in your key decision making points, 10K, 9K, however you look at that, it's going to be fairly tight, and splitting hairs that you really, you know, who's better this week, DJ or Rahm, Shoffley or Rory, JT, Bryson, Cantley, Webb, you can get a bunch of those guys, and it seems to be, for me at least, pretty common so far. We'll see how the rest of the day goes, but I'll get to that in just a second. Just to remind you, use the code MASTERS, get 30% off any package, and it includes a free 7-day trial. So that's activated now. You don't have to do anything other than sign up. You get 7 days to try it out. If you don't like it, cancel. No harm, no foul. Just want to give you a chance to come check out the brand new site, the brand new green machine that was dropped yesterday. I put a video out there, lineup generator, very smooth, very easy. It has the function ability to, it saves on your phone and your desktop. So you can be chilling on the couch, watching a show at night, start building your player pool in the green machine, click save, wake up the next morning when you get to your desktop, everything's saved for you, or vice versa. If you're on the desktop, you can start clicking your player pool and all your percentages and all that stuff, adjust it throughout the week. It saves for you now. So there is no more starting over each time. Pretty cool. I put a video out last night if you haven't checked that out, if you're a member. If you want to upgrade, hit me up, DM me, send me an email, support@gupscorner.com, and I'll get you taken care of. Let's fill the listener league up. I think we're close to about 100 spots left, so that's way ahead of last week. I appreciate it. We actually have more this week. DK went ahead and bumped it for us. Let's show them that we're going to fill that up. 1K to first, flat payouts, limited rake, and top 3 get free GC swag as well. Use the code PLAYERS for 30% off any merchandise in the store if you want to go pick it up. I got the shirt on now, the hats, HV3 stuff, which we're almost out of those. As soon as we get done with those, we'll be sending a big donation to the HV3 Foundation. So if you want to go pick one up, do that. If you are a GC sub, I put a code out and I posted it last week. If you missed it, I'll redo it again today just so you know. You guys get an extra discount. So be looking for that, or hit me up if you missed it and you don't see it today. The Twitter giveaways, I will give away probably, I'm going to give everybody to about 1 Eastern or so a couple more hours. Go look at my pinned tweet if you want to try to get in that drawing, giving away some money on merch there. The YouTube comment winners over the last videos, $50 DFS money to Brian Carlson, $25 DFS money to Casey Cook, GC swag combo packs to Brian Young and Kyle Gibson. DM me on Twitter, or if you're a member, on Slack, and I'll get you taken care of there. As far as stats go, I'm pretty much staying on track. I did go back and look at who putted well prior to 2019 here, and I cross-referenced it against their putting splits on Bermuda and not Bermuda, a little bit of bent and all that. And I kind of accounted for that a little bit in the final ranks. But mainly what I was trying to see, is there anybody that just lights it up here on Bermuda all the time? And then with the switch, possibly that could be a weakness. So if their tee to green game hasn't been strong here prior to 2019, but they typically did well, I wanted to account for that in some way, because these aren't Bermuda greens. There's zero Bermuda. I know there's been all kinds of talk on that. I'm 100% telling you, they're not going to putt anywhere near Bermuda. There's zero Bermuda here, anywhere on the whole course. It's all dormant right now, okay? It's all overseed. It's 100%. Whatever anybody else is saying, they're wrong. I'm telling you, it's 100% not Bermuda. It's overseed. It's ryegrass in the rough, and the fairways overseed. and the greens are mixed bent POA type stuff. So if anything, it's going to put like Ben if you want to look at stats. I didn't care about that as much. I did look at that. I just want to see, was there people that are getting pumped up because they love putting on Bermuda and there's no longer that. And I didn't want that, sway me one way or the other. So I counted for that in the final ranks, nothing major. The rest of the stats I kind of kept as is. I don't think it's going to change much. Off the tee isn't as big of a deal, but you still gotta put it in play. You can't be all over the place. And it's a second shot course, being able to get up and down, all that kind of stuff. I think it really comes down to, can you do what most aren't comfortable with this week? And that's going to kind of be the theme of E9, I think, with Kenny. I want to get his thoughts. Is it's a game theory, and I think so many people forget that. We get caught up on picking player pools and all that. I get that, but are you comfortable with fading JT, fading Webb? Do you have to fade them 100%? No. By and large, it seems like, quote unquote, everybody's going to attack that 9K range. Going to leave the top a little less owned than typical. People want to cram in 2 to 3 guys. And I think there's different strategies if you're in a 1 max, 3 max, 20 max, 150 max for sure, because you can take more risk reward situations, and also depending on your leverage against the field you're playing against. So if you have 3 lineups and others have 20 in a 20 max, I don't think playing, a Webb or a JT or Cantley or some of these guys that maybe particularly are a lot higher owned and gain leverage on the field there. You can, then you have to just make your builds a little bit more contrarian, because at the end of the day, it's so, the combinations, everything's gonna be so spread out. I go back to, we had this conversation last week, is if you leave $200 on the table, no matter how you build, in general, you're gonna be contrarian to 90% of the field. If you leave $300, it's probably 95% or more, especially in the large GPPs. That, for me, in a week like this, where I really don't want to overthink the ownership stuff, I want to get as many of the best players I think has a potential upside here in. That's what I'll probably do. So that just takes care of itself when it comes to dupes and stuff like that. But I think getting a little bit uncomfortable this week is going to be key, because everybody's similar thoughts are going to be there. And, yeah, does it look smart to fade Webb? No, or JT or Cantley, but you can be a little bit different, or you start getting into different build modes. Because if everybody's going to start with at least 2.9, and I say everybody, the majority are a big chunk. What if you load up on a bunch of 10K guys and almost maybe pick 2 guys out of the 9K and fade the rest? Pretty unique build there. Is that comfortable? Hell no, it's not comfortable. It's you got a lot of guys there that you don't want to fade, but that's where it gets into the game theory deal, and where do you want to make your stand at. For me, this is quick podcast, 10-15 minutes max. I do the move up, move down, sleeper under the radar, my one leverage play of the week, and then I get my top 5 final for one and done contest. I pick 2 from there, and then my third entry I kind of keep to myself. Guys that have moved up for me, Scheffler is number 1. I think the combination of his accuracy and drive is solid here. I know he hasn't played here, and I know that's a thing in the industry. And what I caution you on, as it should be to an extent, but guys that have played well here have also missed the cut. JT's missed the cut. Schauffele's missed the cut. So guys that have had super high finishes, Rory's missed the cut. So that's not a given for sure. But I think we get caught up sometimes in, hey, well, he's not played here before, I can't play him. Well, what's his price? Yeah, Scheffler, he don't have to win. He just top 20 and he's fine. So let's not get too caught up in that. The other part of that is look at the timing of the year. Like, this is a different part of the year. So March to May, different string of tournaments coming in. As far as recent form, there's been a lot of talk on they have to be hot, have to come off a good finish. And historically, that's fine. But this tournament has changed completely as far as time of the year and all that, starting in 2019. I think that needs to be as important as worried about a 10-year, 5-year historical standpoint. So I like Scheffler just as all around. Certainly, I think he's going to be sub 10%, maybe 11% max type deal. So in that pocket of where a lot of people are going in the 9K, and then people want to drop down to maybe a Matsu or Hatton is probably going to be super popular in that range. Or even Berger. I think people may feel comfortable Berger. I kind of like Scheffler. He's moved up on my list. For Monday. The next is Kokrak. I think he's not necessarily 1 and 3 max, I'm going to hammer him, but he moved up quite a bit on my rankings. He's coming in with tremendous form, an 8th at API, 9th at WGC. Mixed results here, couple missed cuts, couple top 40s, and his putting's well. So I think he has the all around game if everything's clicking to do well. And if he hits enough greens, because his around the green game is somewhat struggles. But at 7,700, I just need a made cut and some upside. Really like that. He's moved up in my rankings. I'll be high on him. Another guy I just mentioned is Berger. Berger's really not being talked up a ton this week. I don't know if it's because, we saw him at WGC at 35th, which is nothing crazy. Doesn't have tremendous history here, but, not missed the cut in the last 4 years, but 67, 57, 65. But he did have a ninth in 2016. Putting splits in my final total, he's fifth. And all the stuff I did, he came out fifth. So I like that as well. $8,800. He's right there with Scheffler. I think he's going to be in that 11 to 13, 14% range. Nothing too crazy. Certainly viable 1 and 3 max potentially, but your MME bills 10 plus 20 plus lineups. I think I like Berger this week. He moved up quite a bit in my rankings from Monday. Move down / fade. This guy actually moved up in the rankings, but I think he's getting talked about almost everywhere. The last time I kind of heard him talked about this much, I think he shot like 7 or 9 over at the Masters and missed the cut, and I faded him there, so it worked out. Not saying it's going to do that here, but it's Paul Casey. I mean, I like him. He's perfectly fine. When you're in this range, I think he will be one of, if not the highest owned. Probably getting pushed a little bit by Hatton, maybe Spieth. Spieth's getting talked up as well, but I think Casey will be even higher owned than Hatton personally. Just getting mentioned everywhere, any kind of platform, several. I mean, you know how many pods I listen to. I'll be light on him at best, and I may just fade it and hope. I mean, he's coming in. I get it, good form, playing well. All of that stuff makes sense. Course history, he's 59th in my course fit model. So enough room there that I can take a chance. He's maybe one of those spots that I fade, and just that's where I try to, eliminate some of that, chalkiness, exposure type stuff. He's not going to be super high owned because ownership's just going to be, there's not going to be any super chalk this week. I mean, we'll just get that out of the way. Everything's going to be fairly spread out, in the 8, 9, 10K range. But he's a guy that I kind of think I'd be light on this week. And the next one, similar deal, is Fleetwood. I think he's coming off last week and the course history here and the price. I think he'll be one of the highest owned down there in the 7K range. 7,900 is a great price point. He's got a 5th, a 7th, a 41st here. Everything in the world makes sense about him. I just think, again, up top, I'm not worried about my ownership exposure as much this week. I'm going to get to the guys I want to get to. I don't really care. And then down here, I want to try to mix and match my player pools enough to be different, because no matter who you play up top, people are going to come down to these guys as natural fall to guys, Casey, Fleetwood, and that. And if I can get off them and go to a 6% guy, 7% guy, by and large, and gain some leverage, I like to do that more often. So I don't hate to play Fleetwood. I'm just saying he's a guy that I'll be light on this week at best. Sleepers under the radar for me. Number one's Ryan Palmer. I know we're afraid of the water. I literally have him at like 2% right now. So a chalky Palmer, don't want. A 9,000 Palmer, not really. I mean, it kind of worries me a little bit. A $7,300 2% Palmer, hell yeah. I mean, I'll take 8% of him in an MME build. A guy that's finished top 25 twice. He's got 2 missed cuts. I get it, but the risk reward with him and the upside, the craziness with him is exactly what fits this course. He could miss this cut by a mile, 100%. I get that, but it's the price and the ownership that gets me. All right, I can play 6% and have triple the field, and all I need him to do is make the cut and give me some chance on the weekend. I don't mind Palmer. He can miss. I get the risk reward there. That's probably why he's 2%, but I like him a lot. Brian Hartman is my next one. 4% owned, a 54th, a 53rd, and an 8th here. He did have 1 missed cut. Really continues to show up in many different variations of modeling I've done. He's always right there in the top 15, top 20, and at $6,900, feel pretty good about him making that cut, being a safe play. Get me to the weekend. Maybe he gets hot. I like Hartman there, sub 5% as a sleeper under the radar play. My leverage play of the week is Patrick Reed. Pretty easy. Last week was Matsu. Been pretty good on these. I don't think one guy I picked yet since doing this leverage play has missed a cut. And I think they've all done super well. He's going to be the lowest owned in the 8, 9, or 9, 10K range by a mile. May touch 8%. That'll be high, I think. Definitely under 10% for sure. So I get it, but the things you need here potentially kind of feels like a Patrick Reed. Like he's not great at anything, but he's really good all the way around the board. Can get hot, can get a little luck box. Definitely one of the better short games in the field. Made the cut the last 3 years at 22nd. Nothing crazy, but enough there that I don't mind him at all, and especially the low ownership. Certainly viable in MME. He'll be in my MME pool, flirting with possibility of 1 to 3 max. I think it's that big of a leverage play this week. So Patrick Reed's a guy there. My one and done final 5 is DJ, Morikawa, Cantley, Rahm. And then I was close between Reed and Hovland, but I like both of them. I went Hovland. Reed is still definitely in my thoughts, especially when you get to that, as I mentioned, the one that I don't really give away per se because we are playing against each other. But those 5, I'm going to pick 2 of those 5 for sure. So DJ, Morikawa, Cantley, Rahm, and Hovland are my 2 that are my 5 that I'm going to pick 2 from. Again, Masters, get 30% off any package, 7-day trial. Come check us out for a week. Give me feedback. Even if you leave, I love the feedback. We're trying to get it better. Everything we've done has been built from the ground up, in-house. We started it around Thanksgiving and couldn't be more happy with it. And I think the community is loving it. Come give us a try out and appreciate it. Hope you guys have a blessed Wednesday and rest of the week. I will see you premium members this afternoon with Kenny Kim around 5 Eastern. Thank you guys and have a good day.